Hey guys, what's going on? I'm with my friend and my client, Dennis Demori. Dennis, how you doing?
Hey man, what's happening?
Cool. So just a quick video, guys. I want to share, Dennis is going to share his experience of working with me. So I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions. So Dennis, could you tell everyone why you reached out to me in the first place and what sort of things that we worked on together?
Yeah, sure. I think like a lot of guys, you've been uh, training for a number of years and you just don't see the results you want to see. And I went through the muscle magazines like Muscle and Fitness and Men's Health and Men's Fitness for years, trying those workouts and eventually trying different programs I found online. And I had some success with them, but it still felt really slow and it still felt like I wasn't getting the kind of results I wanted to see despite the effort that I was putting in, because I was consistent about going to the gym and I was consistent about um, trying to eat healthy and making good food choices, but it just wasn't clicking. So that was the big thing. I felt kind of stuck.
And what sort of things did we work on together?
Well, I'd say, well, number one is looking at, we're doing blood panels, looking at hormones and deficiencies and those types of things to see where I was at. So that was a big part of it. And then number two was the training itself. You noticed after we went back and forth in some videos watching me work out that the intensity wasn't quite where it was supposed to be. So that was one focus area for a while where I made some definite improvement after paying attention to how it was working out. Number three, a big one we've talked about back and forth, is sleep and recovery. So my sleep has been inconsistent for a while, waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes once or twice, sometimes more than that. But even though my lifestyle is pretty low stress, I wasn't sleeping that well. So those three: hormones and blood tests, nutrition, and sleep, especially as part of recovery. I think those are the big three pillars we focused on.
And what sort of results would you say you've seen since we worked together?
Yeah, well, we've done some progress photos, and we can both see the difference. I put on some size, which was a goal for me. I can see the thickness like around my upper body, around I think my shoulders and my back especially. There's more of you can see more cuts around my shoulders and my arms. And I also feel it in my clothes. So I've been traveling a lot over the past year. We started working together while I was traveling last summer. And right now is February, so I've been back home for a few months, but I have clothes that have been sitting in my closet for the past year while I was traveling. When I got back, and I started going through them again to see how things fit and see if I could get rid of anything. And especially on like my dress shirts, I noticed that some of them were tighter around my chest, around my lats, and around my upper arms. So I could literally feel the difference and not just see it in the mirror. And then in my pants as well, I could feel it around my upper thighs. So I haven't taken measurements, but I can feel uh, around my upper thighs, my quads and my hamstrings. I know they've grown because pants that used to fit don't fit anymore. And but that's in a good way because I can tell that just overall my body is more muscular, and that's why the clothes is fitting like that.
Awesome. And so what would you say to someone who's maybe watching this and sitting on the fence?
Yeah, I think you need to be honest with yourself about where you're at. And that's really hard for a lot of people because especially guys tend to be stubborn, and they'll say, well, I'll just freaking figure it out on my own. But if you were going to figure it out on your own, you would have done it by now. And I've worked with fitness coaches. I've worked with, and I right now I do work with a business coach. And there's nothing like getting the feedback of somebody else who's experienced and knows what they're doing. So number one, you need to be honest with yourself. Number two, you need to realize that um, having someone else who can be objective about your physique and your training and all these things is going to be a huge help. And number three, if you've just been stuck for a while, um, it might be for reasons that you don't know. Like it might be hard for you to actually pinpoint why you're not moving forward. So if that's the case, if you feel like you're stuck, if you're not getting stronger, if you're not looking the way you want to look, or if you just have other issues like training around injuries or your recovery is not where you think it should be, I definitely reach out to Daniel because he's been a great coach and really great as someone who cares about his clients and wants to see them succeed.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, sure.